Are you doing all right, Harry? Is
Yeah,
that
good
Harry,
mate.
mate?
Yeah. Good mate. How are you?
Yeah, spot on. Just had a game of golf today, so I've just been chilling out.
Ah, nice one. How'd you get on?
It was a match play. I won. I won on the last. Bear did the last. So it was a good day. A good day.
Nice one. Where'd you play?
I'm usually at Ainsworth, but we had like a little match. We got like a match play going at work. So today was at Bearswick.
All right.
A bit cold this morning.
Yeah.
Is he up there? But no, good to get out.
Yeah, nice one. You working for yourself these days?
No, I'm at ABI. I've been doing plumbing. I got qualified. I was at Macclesfield, and so I was a qualified plumber. I went to work for the council up in Grimsby, my first job up there, doing decent homes like ripping bathrooms and stuff like that out, and then worked for myself for a bit, and then ABI Caravans doing that at the moment in Beverley, which works quite well.
Oh, nice one. You still keeping an eye on City and stuff?
Yeah, well, I do the keepers. I do the academy. I work for the academy still on a night time, trying to bring some decent keepers through, which is going all right at the moment.
Ah, nice one. Yeah, obviously exciting times as well, isn't it?
It is. I mean, this week's been crazy, hasn't it? I think all the supporters have been waiting for it, and all of a sudden it's happened, and it's just flew. But it's just flew, isn't it? It's just the organisation of everything, getting rid of managers, bringing managers in, players in. It's probably a good time for the supporters at the moment.
Yeah. I mean, you must be used to that feeling of new owners coming in with all the hype.
Yeah, I mean, it's a difficult one, isn't it? Because obviously beforehand, everyone's talking about the owners leaving and new owners coming in. So as a player, it's quite, even though they're probably not thinking about it, it's like in any industry, if managers are leaving or new owners are taking over, it's going to be on your mind. It's going to be playing a little bit a part of what's going on.
Yeah. All right, then. Well, like if we take it right back, then what are your, as a whole lad, what are your first memories of Boothferry Park?
From a very young age, I mean, because I was young, I didn't really go to many games as a youngster. I remember the big one was Liverpool. I managed to get tickets. I was a centre of excellence, so we managed to get a few tickets, me and my mates, and being in the South Stand, it was crazy. I mean, what an atmosphere that was against Liverpool in the FA Cup, and 2-1 up at half time, if I remember rightly, and the place was just bouncing. It was brilliant. It was a great atmosphere, and unfortunately, we obviously lost that game. But as a supporter, old lad, it's sort of it's what I wanted to do from sort of that day.
Okay. And what age were you kind of involved in City setup then?
I think it was about 13s, 14s. He had a centre of excellence. It's nothing what's like now. Centre of excellence probably run twice a week. And it was just in the big gym at the back. It was a massive gym, and we literally trained with Dave King and Pete Sissons and a man called Mike Smith sometimes. And we just literally all the sort of top players of the Sunday League team just gathered and they put us for all paces in the gym. I don't remember playing any games afterwards. It was mainly just training, and there was just sort of coaching us. I mean, it's nothing like it is now. I mean, at the academy nowadays, it's frightening the amount of attention of detail and the support that the kids have. It's unbelievable.
Okay,
but it was good. It was a good stepping stone. It was brilliant. I really enjoyed it.
Right. Okay. Do you think there's like more pressure on kids now to succeed, or is it the same as ever?
To be fair, I think the youngsters, there's no pressure on the youngsters at the academy. Being there, I mean, I've been there a while now. I've seen them from under 9s all the way up to 16s, and the 9s, 10s, 11s, 12s. All they do is play football games, and the coaching's obviously as a really top standard of coaching going on. But no, we don't put pressure on the kids. The pressure might come from parents or themselves. You never know. But as an academy where we're at now, it's just about fun.
That sounds good.
There is a serious business to it at the end. 15s and 14s, 15s and 16s. You have to prepare them for the game, really. So there's going to be a little bit of pressure on you there, but you have to handle that anyway.
Yeah. And we talked to Gary Hobson about the YTS scheme and all that. Like, what did you find yourself doing at Boothferry Park in terms of jobs?
Jobs, I was ball man. So ball man and did the goals. I mean, they weren't portable goals. It was just proper steel, and moving them about was frightening. And if you remember Boothferry Park, behind the gymnasium, there's like the railway track and there's houses. So any balls what went over the railway track, you wouldn't get away with it nowadays. You had to climb over the fence, across the railway track, gather the balls in. And also in the houses, you have to literally garden hopping, which, to be fair, I had quite a good skill from my childhood anyway, so I was quite decent at that. Yeah. But yeah, garden hopping and then getting the balls back, cleaning them all, making sure that they're pumped up properly, and get them in bags ready for training and match days. I probably had one of the easiest jobs. But then we used to obviously clean the stadiums and all that, and we all mixed in. It was, to be fair, the YTS days was brilliant. The camaraderie was excellent.
Yeah. Were you in Hobbo's team? Was he in the same youth team?
Yes, yeah, he was a year older than me, Hobbo. He was quite vocal, he was a proper leader, and you knew he was gonna go on to good things in football. I always remember his vocals. As soon as he was going up for headers, he used to always shout "Hobbo's ball." That's what I remember from Hobbo. And 9 times out of 10, he used to header it, which was great for a keeper. And yeah, we played together in our YTS years, and I think I sort of played when I made my debut with him as well. So yeah.
I was talking to Lee Bracey this week, and he was chatting to me because he knew my dad, and he came to watch me play and goal when I was younger. And I was just saying, I never made the most of it because I didn't have the right mentality. I never had that self-belief. But is that something you always had as a keeper, as a young kid?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I'm always confident in what I could do. I wasn't the biggest, and I knew what I was probably good at and what I wasn't. But people always mention about crosses and stuff. I still think I came for quite a lot of crosses in my career. I don't think you make 200-300 appearances if you can't come for crosses. You can't just live off saving shots. Really, there's a lot more to it. But mental skills, I've always had the ability to, if you make a mistake, is put it behind you and crack on, because you can't do nothing about mistakes. So the mentality side of it was probably quite stronger than I probably thought at the time, really.
Yeah. And then I was reading The Decade again recently, and very interesting story about before you made your debut that you were pretty much ready to sack it off. Is that right?
Yeah. I remember it was quite hard being a footballer. I mean, I was training with the first team sometimes, and the amount of pressure, not what they put on me, but you want to do well, you don't want to make mistakes. And I found the whole environment really, really difficult to start with. And I remember we was playing the FA Youth Cup. I remember going into the office and ready to sort of say to Dale Roberts, it's not for me. As soon as I walked through the door, he sort of said, "Now then, Willo," he said, "I hope you're up for it tomorrow night. We need you," because we didn't have no more keepers to play in the FA Youth Cup. And I just sort of stumbled a little bit. I went, "Oh yeah, I'm really looking forward to it." So it could have changed within seconds, really. But lucky enough for me, I had the mentality to sort of carry on and progress, really.
Yeah. And then what in terms of making you start for the first team, was that Terry Dolan who gave you the nod for that?
Yeah, it was unexpected, I'll be honest. I played a couple of games for reserves, which was unexpected to start with. I mean, I was doing half decent throughout the season. Obviously, they're seeing something that I was doing a lot better. And I sort of remember going for a pre-match meal, not expecting to be involved at all. And I went into the changing rooms and called my name out, and it was quite unexpected, really. It was probably the best because I couldn't think about it, or I didn't have time to indulge on the nerves, really.
Yeah. And like in his second game, you played at Newcastle away, which must have been pretty big.
Yeah. It was, to be fair, Newcastle was quite a good team to play against. We played him in the League Cup as well, and we did well against them. And then the last game of the season, we beat them 2-1. I did quite well in that game. I was quite pleased, and the atmosphere, the occasion. It was proper baptism to league football, really.
Yeah, I mean, you're only 17 at the time as well, so.
Yeah, and they had some big players in there. I always remember, is it Pav Sernicek, I think he was called. He was in goal. Big Quinny up front, Lee Clark, Howie. So at the time there was some really good players. I think Kevin Keegan might have been the manager. I can't remember. There was a big Aussie Ardilis might have been, but yeah, it was a great experience.
Excellent, yeah. Then 92-93 season, that's when you start getting a run of games together. Am I right in thinking we're fighting relegation that season?
92 was Fetz was being there, would he?
I think it's fair when we got relegated from Division. What was Division 2? I think.
Yeah, well, we had a bit of ups and downs, as in Fetz came in the year, so I would have been like second year RTS, and Fetz came in, started first team football and did really well, and then me and him sort of shared it for a bit. I sort of got in and did quite well. I think I got Young Barclays Eagle of the Month, which was a great honour for me that year. I remember playing against Port Vale, saving a penalty, winning 2-1. There were big moments, and I managed to play a lot of big teams. Really, we had Stoke and Port Vale at the time. So yeah, it was a good season. Really, it was a season where I sort of probably made my mark. Really.
Yeah, we had. I put on Twitter that you were coming on, and we got a few questions. And Jim McVie was asking about the Young Eagle of the Month. He said it might have been announced on Saint and Greasy at the time or something.
Was it really? Yeah, Jesus. Yeah. I mean, if you look back, really, I mean, it's at the time, you don't really think it's a big achievement, but I mean, you're getting players now who's getting Player of the Month, and it's a big achievement. So at 17, 18, yeah, I look back now with fond memories of getting that.
And then, yeah, you mentioned Alan Fettis, and obviously the game where he scores, you're in goal.
Yeah.
I mean, how odd was that for you as a fellow keeper?
Yeah. Well, I think it was against, was it Oxford, wasn't it? It was against Oxford. And I was having quite a good game, I thought. And then he comes up and scores that one. Everyone forgets about what I've been doing in there. So, yeah, he scores a winner, which is great for Fetz. I mean, he was doing it in training sometimes as well. He's great character to have around, and to be fair, me and him for all our time playing with each other, we sort of egged each other on. We had great team spirit, and he probably made me a better keeper, and hopefully I pushed him along the way as well.
Yeah, it's how you looked at the competition. Obviously, there's quite a bit with your time at City. You just kind of try to use it to your advantage, kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, you're working together, so you want the best for each other. I mean, I try telling the keepers now. You want the best for your opponent who you're playing with, but you want to push him along, and you want to do better than him, really. Because if you're doing better than him, that's great. But no, I bumped into at Macclesfield as well when I played for Macclesfield. He ended up tagging along that end, so I had a battle with him, keeping him out, and him keeping me out. So for our career, me and Fetz have had a good battle, really.
Yeah, was he the best keeper that you played with, do you think?
It's got to be Roy Carroll. Roy
Carroll,
Carroll, yeah, he was out. I mean, the first game he played Swindon away. I remember him playing in like reserves, and he couldn't kick the ball. I'm thinking he's coming into the first team, and I thought he's going to struggle here. And for some reason, he just kicked on, and he was kicking it miles. He was catching things, saving things what he shouldn't be saving, and yeah, he was outstanding. He was for a young lad. His character was excellent for a keeper. He was a bit like probably Peter Schmeichel. He's shouting and bawling, demanding the best from his players. Yeah, he was for a young lad as well at City. He was excellent. Obviously, he's gone on to bigger and better things as well in his career.
Yeah, like from what year it became a bit of a character as well, but
yeah,
a bit off grid nowadays, I think.
yeah. I think he's working for Ireland now. No, is it Northern Ireland? He's working doing the keepers with them, so he's sorted himself out, and he's working really hard. and is building a life and a career, another career for himself, another pathway, which is excellent for him because he's got tons of experience. He's played all around the world, all around Europe, and it's great experience for any keepers who he's coaching.
Yeah. You mentioned Fettis playing outfield, but like I said, people got in touch on Twitter to say they reckon you played outfield away at Carlisle once. Is that right?
Yeah. I came on. I don't think it was a league though. I think it was like the Auto Glass Cup or something like that. And I think I might have played left wing or right wing, only for about 20 minutes. But I was blowing because you tend to, like anything, I'll just take it easy, but you don't. And I was running up, down, left, right, everywhere. I remember coming on. Yeah, I don't think I probably touched the ball once or twice, and that was it.
Fair. What was that about then? Did you and Fetz have a kick about in training quite a lot then?
Well, we used to have five-a-sides a lot in the gym. Mondays were a five-a-side day. Really no keepers half the time, so we used to play out, and we were quite decent with our feet, passing wise and running and movement. So it holded us in good stead when we managed to get on the field.
Yeah. Actually, I forgot until recently that Fetz came on in the next season as well.
Yeah, last game of the season. He didn't come on. I think he played the full game against Blackpool away.
Yeah.
There was about 4 keepers who played that day. There was me, Fetz, a lad called Lee Martin, and the other keeper for Blackpool got sent off, or Lee Martin got sent off anyway. So there was 4 keepers on that day, and Fetz stole the show again with a last-minute winner. Yeah, so you can imagine the trip home was excellent.
Yeah. And I remember around maybe the time Roy Carroll came in, or the time we got relegated from Division 2. I've always got this image of you with a big cut under your eye. You had a big cut under your eye for a while, didn't you? Where did you pick that up?
Yeah, I think that was against, might have been Leighton Orient. A lad called Griffith or something like that. He's come as I'm coming out to smother the ball, which a lot of keepers don't do anymore. I've come at his feet, and he studied my face, where my cheekbone is, and my eye. So it was a big gash. I went into the dressing room, got stitches, and then came back on, which
Right.
and we won the game, which was brilliant. Lee Warren went in goal while I was getting stitches. I don't think that probably happen nowadays, but yeah, in and out, stitches, and away we went. Yeah.
So you kind of sharing duty with Roy Carr for a couple of seasons, was it?
I don't really think I shared it with Roy. I think Roy sort of mainly had it himself. The only time I really was taking it in turns was with Fetz. I probably had a good stint when Roy was here, when he was a young lad, and then as soon as Roy made his debut, really that was it. That was me for a long while until he really left.
Yeah, fair. And obviously the season when things start to turn on off the pitch, really. What was it like for you as a whole lad when all the protests were kicking off?
Like I said earlier on, you can't help but affect your game, really, because we've got families. We know behind the scenes that the club's struggling financially, and obviously the fans pay the money to come and watch, and they're frustrated. So it was an hard time. I think it was a very hard time for the club itself, and for the supporters. I mean, everyone gets frustrated at what's happening, but like the owners are only trying to do. I think it was Martin Fisher at the time. He was trying to do his best. He didn't have much money. He made sure the players still got paid. He did wonders, really, with what he got and what he had.
Yeah. And then that summer when Mark Haitley comes in, again in the decade, I read that, you and the other players were quite impressed with how professional it was. Were you quite happy when it first started?
When it first started, it was very professional. I mean, it brought a few things what he used to at Rangers, where you had to come in your suits for training, which for the players didn't last that long. We end up bringing our suits on coat hangers and just hanging them up on the pegs, and that was it really. But yeah, it was a lot more professional. He brought his stuff from Rangers and where he's been throughout the country in his clubs. The discipline, the side of the food, the drinking, the training. I mean, sometimes we was training morning, afternoon, and nearly 5 o'clock. So was definitely, he definitely had us in and got his money's worth out of the players. Put it that way.
And then you were his mainstay keeper that first season. Played in some memorable games. Obviously, the Palace one, which I imagine you must get asked about quite a lot. But yeah, what was that? Did you play in the first leg?
No, I didn't play in the first leg. No, I can't remember who played in that one. Might have been
Scott Thompson, was it?
Scott Thompson, yeah, it might have been, yeah. And I managed to get in and played that one. Yeah, to be fair, I keep showing my little lad not little anymore, my lad, but I keep showing him the YouTube videos and stuff like that, just to wind him up. Yeah, it was a great night. I mean, I was in any game, you've got to be a little bit lucky. And I remember, I think I just put one on, a cross came in right near the end, and I was having a good game, as you said, and I managed just to put this ball onto the crossbar. It could have gone in. I could have put it into the back of the net, which would have looked a fool, but I managed just to help it on it, hit the crossbar and gone over. So I had a little bit of luck in that game. But yeah, that was another year where someone's brought another keeper in, trying to, obviously, my height and stuff, people assume that I can't do the job. And Tomo came in and he did all right to start with, but I managed to sort of oust him out that year as well.
Yeah, I remember I was watching the game on YouTube recently, and your face after that chance is funny. Just like, got away with that one.
Yeah. You know the one I mean then, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. But David Rocastle played in that game as well. So he was, I mean, when he came to the club, how Mark Aitley pulled him to having that whole city, I don't know. But what a player and what a man as well. It wasn't big time at all. He had time for everyone. So yeah, it was a privilege to sort of play with him.
Yeah. Read a good few things about him in the Decade book.
Yeah,
seemed like a top bloke. Yeah. I just wanted to ask you about your kit back then, because am I right in thinking you used to wear the white away top over a keeper top?
Yeah. I mean, the kits then the kits change all the time, but the white one was you dived on the muddy pitch. That was it. It's gone. So we kept changing things, and it's a shame as well, because you look at the players nowadays where they swap kits all the time, don't they? They have the shirts and they take them home. I was in the era really where we didn't really keep our kits, because that kit lasted us all season. We only had one shirt for all season, so we sort of looked after it, and 9 times out of 10 it wasn't your shirt anyway, because someone else was probably taking it. But yeah, it was unfortunate. I didn't really keep. I don't think I kept any of my shirts, which I'm a bit gutted about when in hindsight. So yeah.
Right. But why did you choose the white one? Was that just because of the colour?
I quite liked it. Yeah,
okay,
right. A bit different. Yeah, a little bit different. Psychology as well. People actually see you there as well. So as you come running at them, you never know if it did anything as a player with a white shirt.
Okay, it's quite sought after, that shirt now, actually.
Oh, is it?
I think it's one of the ones. Yeah, people like to collect that one, I think.
Oh, right. I know a lot of the shirts they go for a bit of money nowadays, don't they?
Yeah. I think it's like obviously the tiger stripe on top, and then there's a few decent ones under that. Yeah. Then obviously that win got us to Newcastle away. Obviously you played there before, but was that quite a big occasion as well?
Yeah, I think that was bigger than the first one. Really, it was a night game. It was a cup match. Yeah, it was special. Really, there was a lot of people there. I had a family who went there really, and yeah, it was mates who sort of I went to school with and still hang around with. So it was a good atmosphere. I think I sort of enjoyed it a little bit more. I knew what it was about, really.
Yeah. And yeah,
I
like,
think.
go on,
Sorry, I
sorry.
think Ian Rush scored. So I think he got the record for League Cup
Yeah,
goals. I think he did anyway. So someone was telling me.
that rings a
And
bell actually. Yeah,
yeah, I'm a big Liverpool supporter at the time, and for Rushy to score as well, gutted, but obviously quite pleased. Playing with like a childhood hero, really.
yeah. We tempted to get a shirt or anything.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's little things I regret, really, because them days we didn't really do. Well, I didn't do shirts. I didn't even think about it. So it was probably right at the end of the career where where I was thinking of swapping shirts. But on my younger days, I wish I did. Try to get a few more memorabilia, really.
I've got a vague memory of you playing quite a big FA Cup game for Macclesfield, didn't you?
Yeah, that was on TV. We did West Ham, so I think that was on. It might have been Sky or it might have been BBC. And there was some play. David James was in goal for them. Then we had Defoe. I think he made his debut. Scored. Stan Collymore. So yeah, for Macclesfield, it was kept us going for another year, getting on TV.
Yeah. And you mentioned in the book that like it's kind of a turning point with Mark Hateley where you realise you want the man for the job. Like, can you remember when that was?
Well, I wasn't the man for the job.
No. When you realised that the Hateley as manager just wasn't going to work, kind of thing.
Yeah. To be fair, it was a good guy, Mark, but I think he came in at the wrong time. His assistant Billy Kirkwood was excellent. He was really good, and I think, to be fair, I think Mark was probably just a figurehead steering it, and Billy was maybe the brains behind it. And I remember loads of times coming into training, Mark, and he used to always have his mobile phone in his sock. And
in his sock.
And as soon as we started running, and like the physical stuff, it always tended to go off. So he got out there running a bit. But overall, he tried us really well. He tried me really well. There were some players who we did not like, but probably wanted to get out of the club, who we got in afternoons and evenings and trying to make their life a little bit miserable. But overall, for me, he gave me a lot of games when he was in charge. So I had fond memories of that, but I just don't think it was right for him, really. We want the right balance.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts when Warren Joyce comes in and we've obviously got that massive task of saying, were you confident we could do it?
Not really. No, I mean, it was a massive task, and for anyone to come in and sort of dig us out was going to be an unbelievable job. And Joycey took it, and he brought a good assistant in John McGovern, and then he started bringing players in who he knew who could battle, who put the foots in and the heads in, and knew how to probably get out of them sort of relegation battles. And somehow he turned it around and managed to get the great escape, which everyone talks about and still talk about. It was a phenomenal job by Joyce. And the lads who sort of played, I did my part a little bit, but he brought Andy Oakes in, who managed to play in the team and went on to bigger and better things as well with Derby. It was unbelievable feeling finally staying up.
Yeah. How good was Andy Oakes in? Because obviously short stay, but got a lot of money from him.
Yeah, I did. He was excellent, Oakesy. Yeah, I mean, again, me and him pushed each other on, and we lived in Beverley, so we used to get lifts together and things like that. So it was good mates off the field. Unfortunately, it didn't really work out for him at Derby, and I don't really think he went anywhere after that. And that's football for you. Sometimes you get that move in Europe and it'll do things for you, but it doesn't. But no, he was a good bloke and came up with some incredible performances to keep us up.
Yeah, and obviously a big FA Cup run that year where you played in every round, I think. I remember that Luton game being a special one for Ben Morley scoring, and then Big Bob Jewess getting the winner. Was that a good memory?
Yeah. I mean, I was delighted for Ben Morley. I mean, excellent player as well, and yeah, it was it was a good start to the FA Cup. I mean, the FA Cup, when I was younger, and probably everyone at my age loved the FA Cup. We used to go out Saturdays for the FA Cup final and make a day of it. I know it's dwindled a little bit, but still for the smaller clubs, I think it's a massive day. And as players, you're right up for it. So Luton was it was a great win.
And obviously that gets us to Thriller at the Villa. Another special day, really. What are your memories of
that? I mean, that one, that was probably one of the biggest crowds as well. It was a big crowd. It was nearly a full house. I think it was excellent. I mean, the missus came and family and friends again, which is sometimes quite good for them, and they really enjoyed it. But I remember losing, which was never a good thing. They had not Andy Oakes. There was a lad called Oakes in goal for them, and I always picked myself against the keeper to see if they're any better than sort of myself. He was only a young lad at the time, and when you're playing, you think I could do something up there as well. So yeah, I was fighting against him as well. So yeah, it was a good performance, but just a shame about the result, really.
Yeah. Michael Oakes one. I think he was quite.
That's the one. Yeah,
he was highly tipped as the youngster one.
Yeah. It was. Yeah.
Then going into that pre-season 99-2000. Like I said, I was talking to Lee Bracey and he came in, and he was saying, "Did you get injured in pre-season?"
Yeah, I was gutted. We played Gould away. It was just a pre-season game, and I've had a back pass, and I've sort of put it on my left foot, and someone's just snapped my knee. It was my medial ligament, wasn't my cruciate, but it was still an injury which I didn't need at the time. I'm thinking. I mean, I was pushing Lee all the way, and he was pushing me, so it'd have been interesting to see who maybe was starting the season.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about when he got sent off for Liverpool and Matt Baker came on. I mean, that must have been frustrating for you, because obviously that'd have been you coming on, wouldn't it?
Well, that's even a bigger nightmare, because I managed to get fit. I got in the team, was playing Torquay away, and it was my first game back, and I'm sure this was the time where I was back in the team, and I probably might have played. I think I would have started, and then my knee went again. Someone sort of did me again, so my knee went again. So I've had a career where I didn't have no injuries, and I had two, which playing against Liverpool would have been unbelievable. But great for little Matt Baker. I mean, he was a decent keeper. He's only a young lad, and great experience for him. Great experience. I think about 5-0 or 5-2 or something like that. I think we got battered at Anfield, but it was a great experience for him.
Yeah. And then obviously you worked your way back into the number one spot. Is that always a satisfying feeling when you've proved yourself again, kind of thing?
Yeah. It seems to be a little thing what I've done all my career, really. It's one of them little things where you was on about your headspace and your mentality. That's where I think I probably get it from, because I've had a challenge every step of the way, really. Every year there's another keeper comes in, or I'm battling it out again. But yeah, I managed to get in, which was good. And unfortunately, really, that the year after that was probably it for me, really.
Yeah, I'm reading here that your last game was the Hartlepool game at home, which must have been Brian Little's first game as manager. Yeah. Did you know from the start that it wasn't going to work out with Brian Little?
Not really, no. I mean, I know he's bringing a new keeper in, so he brought Paul Musselwhite in for it as well. And I felt I was better than Lee Bracey, so I was just assuming that I'd be number two, but I wanted to be number two the following year, really. Lee had another year left on his contract, and having three senior keepers was never going to really work at that level. So I did what I did. Like every year, I just worked hard, came in afternoons, and just carried on doing best what I could, and see what really happened, really. But yeah, I knew there was no chance of getting a new contract. Went out on loan near the end of the year to Macclesfield, which helped me a lot. Played a couple of games there, and came back to Hull because it was in the playoffs, and I think Bracey was injured, so I got on the bench a couple of times for the playoffs, and that was it really. So it was sad, but that's football for you.
Yeah. Was it kind of bittersweet? Like you're involved in the playoffs, but yeah, like you say, you're on the bench kind of thing.
Yeah, it was. I mean, the way it ended for me wasn't really a good way of ending it. I mean, I spent 10, 11 years there. I was hoping maybe for a testimonial, and that never really came off. They offered me a game. Well, I sorted a game out, and then we couldn't arrange one, and then someone else came in. So there was a lot of messing around, really, from both sides. And then we had dinner and dance. That was the first time I've ever had dinner and dance, and nothing really got mentioned in my 10 years there. So I thought they might have mentioned something there. I said I was leaving, but nothing really mentioned there. So yeah, it was a bit of bitterness there near the way it ended. But that's football. It took me a while to sort of move on, but eventually, obviously, you got to.
Yeah, I mean, I think Lee Bracey had a similar time with Brian Little. He said that he'd delegate to his assistant to tell him what was going on. Was it the same with you?
Not really. I mean, I was out in the sticks anyway. For the full year near the end, I was sort of training. I was training with the young lads, really. I was training with the scholars as they are now, and the lads who aren't really in the team. I was mainly training with them. I knew what was happening. Just not really you can do. You're just hoping that someone maybe gets injured or you get a chance or whatever. But Brian, to be fair to Brian Little, I mean, he took me to Tranmere when I left that. When I left Macclesfield, so he must have thought something of me, or he must have liked the way I dealt with the situation at the time.
Yeah. Then obviously go to Macclesfield, and am I right in thinking you had a more consistent time as number one there?
Yeah. I mean, I went as number 2 to start with. A lad called Lee Martin, who I mentioned earlier, he was playing for him, and I managed to oust him out. And from that day, I was probably the number one until the Boaz Mile. He came in on loan. He played a few times for us, and then again, yeah, I played quite a lot of times at Macclesfield. Some good memories there, and yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Okay. What was your relationship like with Myhill, and did you know he was going to be a good keeper?
Yeah. He was. I mean, even when he came to Macclesfield, he was only a young lad from Aston Villa, and he did exceptional. He did. I mean, he had the physique for it. He had the striking. He had the arrogance, but not a bad arrogance. He knew how good he was, and we tried signing him as well for about 30 or 40 grand, and obviously Hull came in and made the bid, and that's all history. He's had an unbelievable career as well. So seems to be the sort of story goes along that whoever's my number 2 or number 1 who I'm playing with ends up having an unbelievable career. So it's good. It's good on my point. Is that I know that whoever's batting out against they end up doing bigger and better things.
Well, I'm reading here that you eventually made it to Wembley with North Ferriby. Is that right?
No, that's
not
me. No, yeah, that was Adam Nicholson, or he made it with them. Yeah, I would have loved to. It was I left the year before. I think I left the year before, retired from sort of football, and obviously North Ferriby was unbelievable. That was a great experience, great lads, and doing what they did that year was unbelievable.
Were you playing with any other ex-City players at that point?
Gary Bradshaw, he was playing, and that was mainly it. But yeah, there was some good lads. Yeah, we had a good laugh.
Remember a player called Nathan Stead? Because me and my dad used to go to watch him quite a bit at that point, I think. Yeah. Remember him being a good player?
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Nathan was there as I was just sort of finishing probably my last year. I think Billy Heath might have brought him in. Nathan came there. yeah, he did excellent as well. He's tough lad. Don't want to get a 50-50 with him.
All right, nice one, mate. Yeah, we'll just go to some of these Twitter questions then, because got quite a few. Some of them don't make sense to me, but hopefully you can shed some light on them. First one again from Jim McVie. He says, "Ask Willo what he spent his bingo winnings on."
Oh, probably holidays. I mean, I was only young being with missus, so put a deposit on a house, and then we sort of blew it on holidays, really. We invested a little bit, but yeah, mainly on holidays. We enjoyed ourselves, put it that way.
All right. What was the story there? Then you just won a random bingo night?
Yeah, we went to Gala Bingo, and we won the national, so everybody's in. So it was nearly about 60 grand, I think. It was a bit. It was me and my wife. We went for a crazy night out to bingo, and yeah, we came home with a bit of money.
Wow, yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I got one from JP saying, "How does Willo reflect on his time at Bellefield Wanderers?"
Oh, who was that from?
It just says JP.
JP. Yeah. Bellefield was obviously where I started, really. We used to go camping. It was a great experience. It was a really good family experience there. And we won a couple of tournaments, a couple of big cups. Yeah, it was great times.
Ah, nice one. And then one from Andrew Hewitt. He's asking if you've got a good Ian Goodison story, considering you played with him at City and then Tranmere.
Ian Goodison.
Was he a bit of a character, or was he quite quiet? I don't know.
He was quite quiet, to be fair, but it was quite funny because we had to always come in our shirt and tie and suit jackets for match days, but for some reason the two Jamaican guys, him and Theo, always came in the tracksuits. How they got away with it, I don't know. But yeah, and Brian Little didn't say a thing to him. You can understand why, because the players when they played was unbelievable. Them two, especially Theo. I mean, if you see some of Theo's clips and some of the stuff what he used to do with the football was amazing.
Yeah, how many times did you play against City after that? And did you play against us at Boothferry Park and the KC?
Yeah, we played at Boothferry Park. We won, I think 2-1 the first time we came back. It was quite funny that, because I was staying at my mum's, so I've travelled in car and parked down one of the side streets because I couldn't get in anywhere. Or one of the supporters parked my car for me after a pre-match and left my windows open. And as I'm warming up, I just hear like a tannoy, "Will the owner of a Vauxhall, whatever my car was, please come in?" And your windows are open, and it's 30 miles away. So I had to give me keys to one of the coaches to go and sort my car out. But yeah, I played with him a few times at Boothferry Park, KC. We got battered at KC a couple of times as well. I didn't do too well, but I think one of the games, I think we beat you at maybe in the Boothferry Park one, and then Brian Little got the sack after that. So it was a strange little bit of sweet bitterness, really. But yeah.
Yeah, was that quite a strange experience there, like especially maybe at the new stadium?
The new stadium was, yeah. I mean, Boothferry Park was class. We loved it there, the pitch, everything. It was more of a family club when I was there. I think Hull City changed a little bit, went from being a family club to maybe a business after when Adam took over, which obviously football is a business and it needed to go that way. But you sort of knew everyone, the stewards, and everyone was friendly. And now, sometimes for me, it's more of a business now. I don't know whether that little touch has sort of gone away now.
No, I know what you mean, mate. I think it's a quote from Dino that said, it's amazing, all the success, but I think deep down we all wanted it to be at Boothferry Park kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they had plans for Boothferry Park ages ago when I was there, changing like quick save to like a double-story stadium all the way around. It would have been nice for it to develop there, I think.
Yeah. And just some of those questions I sent you, mate, like who are the people you remember from like in and around the club? Like I spoke to Hobbo, who said, you'd end up having like big chats with like people like John Cooper and stuff. Like, who do you remember from that time?
Well, there was the other one, Ken. It was Ken, the other groundsman. Simon Corkill, excellent. He used to look after me. We used to, if you took the kits after the away games, and you had to go in, like there used to be a house near Boothferry Park where all the kit used to go, and Needlers was our sponsor that year. So if you helped Simon out, somehow you got a big tub of sweets as well. So yeah, we helped Simon out. He used to give me a lift home. So he's done loads of things for me after football as well, which is great. But for me, the YT years, the lads who I sort of grew up with was with each and from 9 o'clock until 5:30, playing football, cleaning the stands. They're the sort of memories and sort of lads who remember.
Yeah. You're still in touch with quite a few of them and stuff.
We are, yeah. I mean, we don't go out as in every week or anything like that, but if we bump into each other, we've had a couple of reunions. I think we have another one in a couple of months as well. So we stay in touch in a Facebook and social way. But like anything, as soon as we meet up, if we haven't seen each other for years, it's as though we just sort of haven't seen each other for a couple of weeks.
Yeah. Do you have like a high point of your time at City or Boothferry Park?
At City, really, it was probably the Crystal Palace game and my debut. I mean, making a debut, winning 2-0, which is always handy as a goalkeeper, keeping a clean sheet. But they're the highlights, really. Sort of playing in them big games.
Yeah. Was there like, you mentioned that Orient player that did your eye, but is there a toughest opponent you faced at Boothferry Park?
I don't think it was as an opponent. It was always someone like Lincoln City. I mean, they used to be physical, huge, and everything used to be just thrown into the box. Everything. So it was a big test for me, and probably the centre halves as well. It was a big test of strength and mental toughness playing against teams like that. Big 6'7" guys just ready to knock you in the back of the net. But I think we coped.
Yeah. And then, how do you reflect on your time at City and Boothferry Park? Like, is there anything that stands out, and is there anything you do differently, maybe?
I won't do anything differently. I think the time there was really enjoyable. It was an eye opener. We went through lots of things, which probably helped me in the rest of my career. We've gone through some good stuff, some lows, some battles, and we had a bit of success. I take everything really. It was a good experience throughout my career. And the best thing as well is I'm a whole lad and playing for your home team. And no one can take that one away.